Alright, looks like we are loading. Alright, so we are live. Good. Good, we'll get everything set up here. Alright, first off, welcome. I'll be sharing this more, so more people will be watching us here shortly. But more importantly, Mr. Wheeler, if you're out there, you've already seen a part of this, but you haven't seen all that we're going to do. We got a surprise for you here, and it will involve this back area back here. But what we want to show you, of course, is the parts you have not seen yet. So let's get this handy dandy cam here without trying to make everyone sick. And you will see, if we're going to pull it up here, you do have your Asus GeForce GTX 1060. Of course, overclocked edition. Wouldn't go anywhere without it. And 6 gigs of GDDR5 RAM. Gotta have that, a must for gaming, of course. And then you can see those over there. We, of course, have the AMD Ryzen 5 2600. Of course, you can see that there on the label 2600. But that isn't going to just plug into anything. It is going to be plugged into this MSI B450M bazooka. Yes, it is a bazooka, which blows things up. So it'll be nice and powerful for you. But we are going to get to that here in a minute. Of course, you can see the RAM that's in there, and me apparently in the reflection. We're going to set that there for just a moment, as we want to get to the little surprise we have for you. Hopefully, you're out there watching. Not sure why chat's disabled for this stream. I did not disable that, so not sure what's going on there. But let's try not to knock everything off the shelf here before we get to it. I believe this is the right package that it's in. It's in an old box. It is indeed. So we're going to grab this out of here. This is just because I'm not happy with what it came with. So we're going to hook these bad boys up. We'll show these to you here. But this is the little surprise. We have 3 of these Corsair LL series fans, white, of course. They do light up. I think there's like millions of different color combinations or something like that. But I didn't like, for one, there's no fans in the front or the back. I didn't like that. Didn't realize it didn't come with any. So we are going to hook you up with these Corsair LL series fans. So that not only will you stay nice and cool gaming, well, you'll look good doing it too, with some bright RGB stuff going on in there. So that is the little bonus we're throwing in there for you here. Is we just got to get these unpacked. Again, we're going to put 3 of those in for you here that we had left over from a prior build that we did. Actually, I had a few more than that left over, but regardless, we're going to get these all hooked up for you. Of course, getting everything ready and all the cables that we need for them. And that should do it. But again, not sure why chat is disabled. If you're watching out there, definitely let us know. You can message me on Facebook. We'll see if my phone's working. But we're just going to dive into this and get it started. So we'll scoot those fans out of the way and get everything hooked up. We'll see your cooler first. Yeah, if I can find my cutter that we were using, that is. Where did I do with my cutter? I lost my knife. Well, helps if you don't lose things around here, but guess we'll just wing it here, because I don't know what I did with that. Interestingly enough, it disappeared. But regardless, we're going to crack this bad boy open so we can show you all the parts that are going in this thing here for your build. We are going to, of course, be going with the stock cooler that is in here. There is your actual processor, your resin, with a little sticker. We'll be hooking that up here in a second. And it comes with the Wrath cooler, I believe is what they call it. So, make sure there's nothing else in here we need. There's not, so that can go to the trash pile because we don't need it. As we will take a look here at this cooler. I've actually never used one of these coolers before, I'm not going to lie. This is the first time I will actually be using one of these Wrath coolers, and they don't look bad. They actually look pretty nice. You already got your thermal paste on there, so that's good to go as far as that goes. But that's your little cooler. It is a nice little cooler. It looks very well built. I mean, again, first time using one of their coolers, but it's very stout, very well built, so it should last quite a long time. As far as fan coolers go, I get the hiccups all of a sudden. So we'll stick that back over there. There you seen it. You've seen the processor. You've seen the fan. Next, we're going to get to your motherboard here, as that will be going into this computer next, of course. And I may go a little silent while installing that, but I don't need the instruction book. We know how to hook up motherboard in. But there you have it as far as processors go. Get your processor, your little sticker. So we'll be installing that here shortly. But first, we got to get the motherboard in. But before we can get it in, at least got to look at it for you. So we're going to do so. So again, you have the B450M bazooka from MSI. Let's scoot that back just a little bit. We are going to pop this out, and we'll probably go ahead and put the processor on so we don't have to deal with it later. As there you see it. We'll stick it right up there for the moment. And see what kind of cabling and crap we have in here that we might use, we might not, we might use some of our own. We'll see what's in here at least. Trash pile, we are going to have to, of course, use that. So your little plate to go in the back. And you'll use those cables. The rest of this, pretty much junk. We'll see if you want that on there. We'll ask you, of course, if you want your little MSI sticker or not. But that is going to do it for the motherboard. And as far as the parts go anyway, we're going to dive right in here again. You get your two cables here for your SATA ports. We will be using one of those, of course, for your 2 terabyte Barracuda drive going in. So without further ado, let's push that back a little further, and let's open this motherboard up for you. There we go. Get it off of its little bag. And with a small little case, like the small, powerful little case, obviously comes a small motherboard. As you can see there, it is a small little motherboard. Powerful. You've got your 16-lane drive right there for your graphics card, which will be opening here momentarily. Of course, your processor goes there. And we have your RAM that we'll be putting in there. So we'll go ahead and get that processor installed on there and get this process going. Alright, make sure it is what it says it is. 2600, yes. So we are good there. Alright, we'll drop this processor in there, just making sure it all lines up good. Give it a little tug. And there we go. Give you a look at it real fast. That is, of course, your processor on your motherboard. We are good to go there. We will just sit that right on top of this case real quick because we don't need it right at the moment. What we are going to look at, though, assuming this thing does not fall off, we'll set it off there. Again, those are your fans that we're going to be installing. A little free gift there. Let's crack open this graphics card real fast for you so you can at least see it. I may not stay on air while I hook all of this in because it will get a little tedious. But we at least want to show you all the parts that are going in this one. And I really like that the fans are that kind of white look, kind of clearish white, but more white. Again, apparently we're making more noise with that, but obviously you want to be here for your graphics card, as it is nice looking, and there is the beauty white, of course. and I don't think that's going to stay. Nope, it's not. It failed. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's open this up, and then we will put the camera back on it so you can see your beauty of a graphics card that is going in this beast. There we go, and we may have some film stuff to pull off. I can't tell if it's on there or not, but regardless, we'll prop this thing up for you here so you can see that your brand new 1060 Asus graphics card. It is definitely going to be a very well car that you will definitely get a lot of use of. There, I had to check a message real quick. But a very good card. You see obviously the dual fans. On the back here you have your DVI, I believe it is. Two HDMI's, a display port, and I believe this one is that's the display port. Maybe 2 display ports. I'm not sure, or 3. The other, I'm not sure. Okay, 2 display ports. Okay, so maybe 3. There's your HDMI. But regardless, you'll be using just one of those probably for now. And we'll check the other one. Yeah, okay, so 2 display ports, 2 HDMI, and 1 DVI. So that's your card. We'll be installing this bad boy here very shortly. But first, we got to get that motherboard in. I don't think there's anything else under here of importance anyway. Let's make sure. Just some book and a CD that we really don't need anyway. So we're just going to get that out of the way. I'll set this down here one more time. Alright, so we don't need that. We'll see who else is watching. Hopefully he's out there watching too, but we'll let the camera sit here for just a minute. We're going to see if we can cycle it around. And we're going to try to put this motherboard in standing up. Usually, I typically put them in while they're laying down, so that makes it a little bit easier. But we want to try to get it up here for you, so we're going to set that there. We want to try to get it on the camera for you, so that being said, we are going to pop the side of this bad boy off, roll the chair out of the way, put that over there because we don't need it on the other desk. Alright, so just some cable stuff. We don't really need some booklet written in a language I can't read anyway, so I don't really care about that too much. Get that out of your way. And of course you already saw the RAM that we have, your G-Skill Ripjaw RAM, 16 gigs. You got your cables and power cable. We cannot forget about those. We'll set them over there for now. Meanwhile, you can see your power cable, of course, that we are going to try to tuck out of the way here for the moment because we don't need it. Alright, so we are going to get this back plate on very quickly. Very nice looking back plate too for such a small little motherboard. I'm not gonna lie, it's looks really nice. It's nice and sturdy. I mean, as sturdy as it can be anyway, I guess. And it is windy outside. I don't know if y'all can hear that. But we do have the window open because, well, why not, right? And my phone is ringing, but we're going to ignore that here for the moment as we are installing this back plate. Whoops, well, I say we're installing it. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting it installed. Okay, so back plate is installed. As you can see, nice and flush there. Looks pretty good. We're going to get some of these out of the way. And Mr. Wheeler, Haiden, these are those little bonus things we were talking about. We'll power these up here in a minute so you can see kind of what they're going to look like. But it will, of course, go right here on the back of this. And it's going to give this little case some color, which I think you will appreciate. If you are watching this, let us know in chat or in the messenger what your favorite color is. And I'll see if we can't preset it to that. we will get that software installed, the Corsair Link software that is, and we will get that going here for you. Go ahead and preset it with your favorite color, as we are going to get the fan screws out here, out of this little bag, because we do need them now, of course. Put that down there. We'll also just put that book down there. Okay, so now that that's done, open this little baggie up. Alrighty, hopefully this is enough for 3 fans. It should be. That is how many fans this case can hold, so surely it gives us enough screws for the 3 fans we need. We'll find out. But again, just a little bitty screws to put in here. Now I gotta find my screwdriver. There she is. Alright, so we'll get this all hooked up. And keep an eye on my phone. I'm expecting a phone call, so I'll have to go mute here in a minute. That is why. So we're gonna hook this little bad boy up. Hopefully my arm isn't too far in the way. Okay, it doesn't look like it is. I have to get a bigger bit. One doesn't quite want to cooperate with me here today. That's good enough to get them started. I'm going to have to rotate this around just a little bit. So you might not be able to see as much of what's going on here, but I can, and that's what's important right now, because I need to get these installed, obviously. It helps if we don't drop screws, but I'm not too worried about that. I do have plenty of those screws to go around, so I've collected enough of those over time that losing one of those is not really all that big a deal. You can just replace it very easy. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Not sure what you can see, but we are getting this fan installed here for you. Again, this is just a little bonus, because this case, for some weird reason, did not come with any fans installed. So, I figured it would have some. I didn't look too close at it when I was picking it out for you, and it didn't. So, that one is on me, so we're hooking these fans in. Again, they're the Corsair LL Series fans. And they are really nice fans. I will add that. I currently have them in one of my builds. Cable management can be a pain, but with these fans, because they have more cables. But luckily, you do not have to worry about that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. May take me an extra hour or so to hook her all up, but in the end, she will look good. But there you have it. Knocking crap everywhere. Still going to go to Best Buy later today. But minus the thing, there are your fans. Obviously, some nice little Corsairs. And we're going to have 2 more installed right there and right there. So in the end, you'll have some nice RGB fans, plus really good fans. I think they retail for like $119 or something like that. So some really good fans. through this computer. And not only will they look good, they're going to keep it nice and cool on top of that. So before we get any further in installing these things, as it looks like that was a spare screw, so luckily I have enough to go around, so that is good. But again, before we dive too much further in here, I'm going to go ahead and get this motherboard installed. Oops. So we're going to get that installed, get this power cord out of the way, and this is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and we may have to get a flashlight for this one. I think I'm going to have to install some standoffs here. What I'm talking about here, for Mr. Willer, if you're out there watching, as these standoffs. That's what these are right here, these little standoffs. And they're placed periodically throughout here. And as you can see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, but there are little holes everywhere else. As you can see, a hole right there, and I'm going to have to install a few more of these, which they do come with in case you do have a little bit bigger motherboard than some. So that is what we are going to be doing now, is installing those extra fans. Wow, I got fans on the brain. Installing those extra little standoffs. We'll get them back out of this bag here. Alrighty. And again, I may have to end the stream a little early, but if I do, I'll come back for part 2, as I do have some other stuff I gotta do around town today. Best Buy, got to get a new router for my internet, so that is something I may have to do before we get finished with this. But we'll see. Hopefully I can get at least a big chunk of this done here for you so you can see it. If not, part 2 will be, of course, firing it up, and we'll make sure iRacing's installed and get you up and running at that point. Let me get these screws out of this bag. Okay, so again, I know I'm going to need a few more standoffs here. Question is, where am I going to need them? So I know I'm going to need 2 on the bottom. And this is the fun part. This is why you hire someone to do it right here, to figure out exactly where all of these standoffs are going to go, and then which ones I need to add in. So no, and it helps too if you actually put the motherboard facing the right direction. That tends to help things. Stuff lines up a lot better. Just saying. So, you know, even the pros here make mistakes every once in a while. So, that was my bad. I was totally not paying attention when I was looking at that motherboard. I was wondering why those holes were not lining up, and that makes sense now. So, let me get this. Gonna have to set this down. Get this thing in here. And as they do give you nice little tools to do this with, plus I have my own tool kit, of course, to help out with this as we get these installed. Okay, so one's installed. Now for the second row, which is further down here, you have row 2 is going to have 3 across. 1, 2, we're going to have to add 1 more on that row as well. No surprise, I kind of figured we would have to add at least 2. We may have to add all of them in. We'll see once it gets going. But yeah, if you're out there watching, whoops, let me know in chat, or I keep forgetting there is no chat here, like there is on my other YouTube channel for my broadcast. But message me on Facebook. Let me know what your favorite color is for your computer anyway, and we will make sure to get this thing all snazzy looking for you here, and make sure we install the colors you like. And it is getting really windy out, but tell you, look, we're gonna need it there, and looks like that's it. There's nothing on the oh no, there is. Oh, make sure we get them right. We're gonna need it in that hole, and okay. I think we figured out all of them that we need, because we can only put 2 more in. Oh, this should make it fairly easy. We'll get it ready. Actually, now my phone's getting in the way for the flashlight, so get this installed here. Alright, where'd that hole go? I done lost it. There it is. Alright, all your standoffs are installed. And now it's just a matter of getting this motherboard installed. So this should be a fairly straightforward task anyway. I don't expect it to be too big of an issue. We'll get this thing installed. We may end it here because, again, I got to do some other chores. But we will come back with part number 2, which will include installing some more fans here for you. Some of the good stuff like that. So we do have quite a bit more left to do in here, of course, including your RAM and all that, getting that installed, all that good stuff. So still a lot to go. We are nowhere near done here. Of course, we need to fire the beast up and get it running as well. So do this a little bit so I can see what I'm looking at here. That does tend to help things just a little bit if I know what I'm looking at. These things sometimes want to pop out. Obviously, we're not going to let it. And actually, for the most part, your motherboard is going in a lot smoother than some I've seen in the past. So, some I've dealt with. So, that is a good sign, as it looks like everything is lining up. Sometimes they don't always want to line up. So we'll tighten it to its tightest thing and then let it go. I may need that flashlight back here in a minute, but everything is going very smooth right now. That is a very good thing. Again, every once in a while you can get one where the board wants to be a little finicky. It's warped a little bit or something, and something doesn't work right. That does not seem to be the case here with this one, so that's good. That usually means I send it back and get a replacement for it. I've had a replacement do that too, though, so it's good that it's not doing that here tonight or this afternoon. So right now we're basically just getting all your screws installed here. Make sure everything is good to go. Okay, there we go. Couldn't find the hole. It's a little dark inside this case. You can see, we'll let you get a look inside. That's what we're at so far. We have your motherboard, your processors on the motherboard. We have that installed. We do have that one fan. Your processors or graphics card is going to go right in here, of course. RAM will be in here shortly. We're going to put 2 more fans. There we go, 2 more fans in here. So yeah, you got a lot going on. You have this thing down here where your air will come up. It will, or the fan, sorry, can pull air in, but your processor will be blowing air out the bottom. So that will keep it nice and cool. So you won't have any overheating issues there. And again, we'll be hooking that cooler up here shortly to that processor after we get the RAM on. So there should be no overheating issues with this computer. While it is compact, I still don't see any issues coming from that. I usually do my homework on these things before I just recommend them. So again, I don't see any overheating issues coming from it, as we're apparently going to drop a screw. We're going to have to find a... Oh, there it is right there. Is this thing magnetic? It should be. There we go. Love having magnetic screws. They come in very handy. Is that we're going to use the flashlight to... Oops, I know I don't want Bluetooth. I want a flashlight. There we go. I can see where I'm trying to screw this thing in at. Okay, that one's screwed in. And cable management's not going to be the best in this thing, but we will definitely do the best we can for you here. With it being a little case like this, there's just not a whole lot of room for cable management. That is one downside to a small case. But the good thing is, if you don't have much room, it's not going to take up much either. So that is a plus for you. And there you have it. Your motherboard is installed. You're good to go as far as that. So everything showing back here. So you have an onboard graphics card as well. But everything's installed motherboard wise. We will get the cooler on here in a second. We got your RAM slots here, so we'll go ahead and put those in. Then we'll of course get your graphics card and stuff like that in. I may have to look at this. Oh well, no, we got black and white, so they'll be pretty evident as to which slots to go in. Some of them are color coded, some of them are not. This particular one happens to be color coded for us, so that's always nice. They make it dummy proof for us. So we are going to pop these RAM, and I don't know what that thing is looking at, to be honest. So I'm not sure what my camera is looking at. It just doesn't want to stay in its place. There we go. Got one of the RAMs out. Alright. Put that in the trash pile because we don't need it. There is your Rip Jaws RAM from G-Skill. Again, you can see it says it back here somewhere, I'm sure. 8 gigs times 2, 16 gigs of RAM to power this this beast here. So we'll get this RAM hooked up here for you. And helps if we put it in the right way. Alright, 6 or 8 gigs in, 8 gigs to go. Alright, your RAM is in and ready to go. Well, we are making progress here. Next, we'll look at your cooler here and see about getting it installed. Let's find out exactly which way this bad boy goes on. Alright, so I think we figured it out. We may have to wait on that for a second to get it in, as we're going to have to pull this off, it looks like. We're going to have some tension strings on there to deal with, but it looks like our phone is ringing, so I'm going to end this stream here. We will be back here in just a little bit. We'll do part 2.